Hello everyone. Today our presentation is about Château de Camp. In our group, we have นัทพัฒน์ธนสิทธิชัยชนกนันท์ตังติสานนท์นรัตดาคุมสุวรรณเกศสุดามอนชาวเวอร์ and me.
Why is associated with many histories and beliefs in Western culture, such as the tale of God of Wine, like Dionysus and Bacchus. According to Greco-Roman belief or various heroic myths associated with wine. Wine is also the symbol of the blood of the Lord Jesus. According to the Christian faith, wine have changed a lot according to taste and production technology. Today, wine production is more diversified by type of wine, grape, Château wine, and plantation than ever before. The option of this report is to study Château de Gam, a Southern Premier Crew superior about what makes it unique in this production, such as its history and factor of its area in golden grape.
Château de Gam locates in southern Gironde, which is the southern part of the Border-France. The southern wine region comprises 5 communes, including Barsac, Beaume, Vargat, Pyongyang, and Southern. Southern wine is usually made from 3 white grape breeds, including Sauvignon Blanc, Semillon, and Muscadel, that have been affected by noble rot. For the wine to pass the qualification of the Southern label, it must contain a minimum of 13% of alcohol and qualify in the tasting exam. The wines must obviously taste sweet. The exact amount of lingering sugar in the wine is not specifically stated, but the taster must notice it before approving the wine to qualify for the Southern's label.
For more than 35 years, Count Edelusalus, at the head of Chateaubriand, has perpetuated the family history with one philosophy of offer without concession and optimal quality. For its vintage signed in May 2004, Pierre Lerton was entrusted with the management of the estate by LVMH, the main shareholder of Chateaubriand since 1999 from a large line of Bordeaux. Wine grower Pierre Lerton, who presides over the destiny of Chateaubriand Blanc, Chateau Cheval Blanc, and Andean Horse in Argentina, has all the quality to pursue the legend of the estate in the respects of tradition and openness to modernity in the 20th century. LVMH, Moet Hennessy, Louis Vuitton acquired Chateaubriand. Since then, this estate has been continued to promote its authenticity and expertise in winemaking but is still open to modern.
Château de Camp topsoil is dry and warm. It accumulates heat with smooth pebbles and cross pebbles. Meanwhile, the ground floor has a good source of water, and there are many springs on Grand Eastern. Drains have recently been installed to prevent waterlogging. The west side of Camp makes it possible to grow 113 hectares of grapes on the further subgrounds of the southern region, and it is an important factor in the quality and complexity of its flavor. On one hand, Saturn's special climate encourages botrytis, which makes the noble rot in the grape, and it adds more, especially in the flavor of the wine. It is concentrating wine's sugar content.
Dechem flavor is hard to describe because it is complex, but there are so many balances that get along well over time. The flavor lingers on the palate for a remarkably long time, giving gourmet a longer lasting specialty. There is a French expression used to describe the Kim long after taste as il fait la queue du pain, meaning it's spread like a peacock tail. At the tasting, this wine will captivate you with its exceptional color and its unique taste. From dry to very mature fruit and jams aromas, you will see that when magic works, no one would resist this charm. Many said that they were given the flavor of fruits such as apricot, mandarin, and tropical fruit. They also get the flavor of vanilla and toast in the young age wine. On the other hand, an older vintage exclude a particular complex aroma as soon as the bottle is opened. It has note of dried apricot, prunes, stewed fruit, orange marmalade, cinnamon, saffron, licorice, and the smell of flower like lemon blossom and rose. Château de Camp wine are often soft, luxurious, and have a flavor that coat the mouth's palate. It maintains a good balance between sugar and acidity. Cam's wines can be characterized by vintages and colors. Cam has many great vintages. However, there are several years that there were no vintages, including 1910, 1915, 1930, 1951, 1952, 1964, 1972, 1974, 1992, and 2012. By colors, Gam's wines characterized into four shades, as the picture shown.
Semillon and Sauvignon Blanc are white grape with that Chateau de Gam used in producing wine. So Semillon is accounted for 75% of gram plant and it is used to produce a richness in body and structure of the wine. When Sauvignon Blanc accounted for another 25%, it's it con it contribute to building fineness and aroma. The the product of taking care of with the utmost care. Gram farm worker carry on the long tradition of harvesting under the close supervision of the vineyard manager.
Chateaubriand take advantage of fungus known as botrytis, also known as noble rot, When grapes are infected, they dry out and wet, giving the grape a distinctive flavor, sweet than usual. Each year, 2 to 3 hectares of grape yield are collected and left for a period of time. In addition, approximately 20 hectares are reserved. Château 2021. Harvesting requires prudence on average. Ugram makes 6 vineyards effort each year to ensure that enough sterilized grapes are selected for winemaking. Grapes are processed 3 times and moved to oak barrel for about 3 years to fully ripen. The oak barrel used do not allow oxygen to penetrate. Naturally, yeast is present from the skin of the grape, but is relatively small. The fermentation temperature of wine is about 7 to 18 Celsius. There are several methods for fermentation, such as septalization. Because the sugar of the grape is too low, after that, the last must be separated and this fermentable wine is sent to container to await settling. The wine is sent to the container after container until the wine is clear. After the wrangling process, the resulting wine is clear, but the wine flavor is still unpresent. So it needs to be measured to achieve a smooth taste. After aging, the resulting wine must be naturally filtered. The naturally filter to remove any sediment make the color of the wine more beautiful. The final aspect of winemaking is bottling. It is just another way to give wine to rest and continue to mature. In a bottle, on average, gram product approximately 65,000 bottles per year.
Château d'Yquem wine can be enjoyed both young, vintage, and old vintage. Based on anecdote D'Yquem, young vintage of D'Yquem wine are best served at 9 degrees Celsius, while the older one are best served at 12 degrees Celsius. Also, Château d'Yquem wine are served on Tsar of Russian table. In the past, European people went the extra miles to search for Château d'Yquem wine, such as Great Duke Constantine, who announced to pay 20,000 gold franc per barrel, which was 4 times expensive than a normal price at the time. The Meiji dynasty of Japan also report enjoyed the wine from D'Yquem. In the 1980s, a French astronaut took D'Yquem bottle of wine with him to an outer space mission. During World War II, Marquis Bertrand was captured, but he was freed back to Château d'Yquem in order to make it internationally known. Château d'Yquem is not your tropical sweet wine and definitely is not an ordinary Saturn, since the Havas wine grapes have different noble rot flavors. They add a layer of complexity, acidity, and sweetness up to the wine, making it more usual and flavorful. Château d'Yquem wine combine rich aromas of dry apricot, green mango, white peach, honey tropical fruit, and intense caramel flavor with an elegant aftertaste of rose nuts, which Make Château de Camp white wine pair well with seafood, especially lobster, shellfish, crab, and lighter dishes.
Château de Kim ranks 31st in the World Best Vineyard list. In the meantime, the Decem 1937, 1945, and 2001 are voted the best taste among other vintage for the younger one. The Decem 2007 and 2015 are recognized for having the outstanding taste of botrytis and silky texture.
Before the wine industry broker rank bottled wine according to a charter reputation and trading price because reflect the quality. As a result, the bottled wine official classification of 1,855 states. The top ranked wine named the Grand Cru classes. This is a mark of high prestige for all bottled wine, but now Château de Gram is an only Southern Premier Cru Superior. The need to classify the best bottled wine arose from the 1,855 exposition Universal de Paris held. At a Champs-Élysées Napoleon's request, a system for categorizing bottled wine of France exhibited for visitors from around the world.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your present.